Yeah, let's go one more time before I sleep. When I speak about uh, Chamisa in the aspect of Zimbabwe, failing to come to the picture of understanding that you do not fight the military, you do not fight the police, you do not fight intelligence, you work with them, and then you can become the president. You only fight ZANU PF. But unfortunately, to be fair to Chamisa's side, ZANU PF has used the police, the military, the intelligence as if like they are part of ZANU PF, of which they are not, and that is a fault of Zimbabwe's oligarchs, because Zimbabwe's oligarchs should be able to control ZANU PF and extend their control of ZANU PF to control also Triple C and Chamisa, while it's maintaining the distance between ZANU PF and the police, between ZANU PF and the military, between ZANU PF and intelligence. If you are the people who run the country, you run all of these institutions anyway, there should be an orderly way in which you use them. You do not want the police to be seen as pro-ZANU PF. You do not want the soldiers to be seen as pro-ZANU PF. You can be pro-ZANU PF, but you don't want the appearance of it. So when opposition political parties hold rallies, you don't send out police to harass the opposition party leaders and the people out there, because it gives this impression that the country is at war, and that perpetuates the anger in the people and really ensures that the revolution of the people happens. You see, the thing is about revolutions is this: the revolution of the people indeed does happen. It's not a political gimmick. It's not something that is concocted in some political offices. No, 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 no. It's something that boils in the hearts and minds of the people. They connect and they spring, just like the Arab Spring. It's not cooked. Seasoned politicians are used to cooking up things. Like in South Africa, the Durban July was a cooked thing. It wasn't the people, it was people connected who cooked it up. But there are things that are naturally born by the people and they're not cooked by politicians. So the oligarchs of Zimbabwe, those that run Zimbabwe, must be cognizant of that. So here, my advice is this: uh, you do not want to alienate the people from the army and the police. No, no, no. You should be okay with alienating those who do not support ZANU PF. Let them be alienated from ZANU PF, but not from the organs of state. Your work, therefore, billionaires around Zimbabwe, is to satisfy or build that relationship with Chamisa, of which I do suspect is already there. But it is on a wrong footing. It's based on disenfranchising people, fighting the people, instead of managing people's expectations. People don't want to be billionaires. People just want jobs. People just want to make money and put bread on the table. Nobody wants to challenge you as leaders. You see, it's easy to hold on to power by allowing people to express themselves. You see, you are a father of your child. If you tell the child to come home before 6, even if the child comes home at 9 or 10, you are still the father of the child. You will still have power in Zimbabwe if you have the ability to control the levers of society, including opposition political parties. But I do believe already that the Triple C is actually controlled by those that run Zimbabwe. I have no doubt. I do not think that Chamisa is independent. I've got my own views for that because I can see that look at people like Job Sekala who go to jail. Probably Job Sekala is not part of the plan. Chamisa doesn't go to jail, doesn't get beaten. His people, the people are the one who are beaten. The people who are suffering. Him, he is not. He's always silent. He's saying that he doesn't want to go to State House over dead bodies. But there is a lack of leadership acumen in the guy. He's as dead as a dodo, but he has got more than half of the country behind him. It's very suspicious the way that he behaves. You can tell that there is something that he is not telling. Coupled by the fact that yesterday God told me that there's things that they do under the table. Like, oh yes, Lord, I've always noticed. So you see, it's not wrong per se to have Nelson Chamisa as an intelligence officer masquerading as an opposition party. It's not okay to have an opposition party that is under the auspices of national intelligence anyway, because it helps manage the population. It helps manage the expectations of the people. If through your apparatus as an OPF, people are not satisfied, people will go to your other apparatus, CCC, which you also manage. And if people vote for Chamisa to be president, so be it. Let him be the president. But he's still within your circumferences, within your world. This is how you build a strong Zimbabwe. A group of people that are able to manage the organs of state, from the institutions of the state to even the politics, the political parties, NGOs, stuff, not by beating them up and forcing them not to exist, but riding on their existence. Don't tell Zimbabweans that we cannot start a new party. Let them start a new party. However, when they do, you do not send CIOs undercover who are reporting to Mnangagwa what those guys are doing. No. You send CIOs who report to the oligarchs, to the guys who run the country, of which I think Mnangagwa must be one of them. Instead of leading ZANU-PF, I believe Mnangagwa must be one of those oligarchs, the elders of the country. Do you understand? The country must have its elders who are not voted into power or voted out of power. They are themselves power, and empower other people to run the country. A president should just be a prefect. You see, I would tell that people like Chiwenga, Mnangagwa, and the Army General and other very rich Zimbabweans who are very influential, they do not need to be fighting for positions that they are going to be given by people who raise their hands. No. Their positions should be, okay, by the fact that you are rich. That is Rimbinga. That's it. You have the ability to run the country by remote control. That's how successful countries are run. Who do you think is running the United States? It's Joe Biden. Presidents change in the United States all the time. Why is there a smooth change of governance in the United States? Do you ever ask yourself why? It's because the people that really run the United States are able to control the Republicans and the Democrats. There is rules of engagement. Democrats and the Republicans are fighting on a certain level, on a certain dimension. There's another higher dimension where they do not compete. Listen, if Russia comes against America, the Democrats and the Republicans don't fight. They get united and fight a common cause. They do know that that is that part of unity, national unity, of patriotic to nation. You see, in Zimbabwe, we've been told that being patriotic is being ZANU-PF. That is not just the failure of ZANU-PF, actually, it is the failure of the oligarchs who run Zimbabwe by failing to recognize that it is limiting to just think of ZANU-PF. You must think multi-party system, while it's actually behind the doors is actually one thing. But you let it breathe within that threshold that you allow. Okay. And know that, okay, the rules of the games are like this. We fight about this and that. We don't go there. You don't touch that. In America, you don't go and invite China if you're a Republican. Say, China, come and help us defeat the Democrats. They don't do that. They've got something American. So I'm just telling you that even Zimbabwe, you must have something which is Zimbabwean, that everything rallies towards. That's how you get peace. That is how you create election systems that are free from rigging. And even if there is rigging, it will be people rigging without using the military or the army or the police or intelligence or whatever. It will be individuals who can't be caught, and whom, after they are caught, the court of law can convict them, and the system of governance, the system of the country, can still be intact, because the people who rig the elections will be rigging against the system of the country, and the system of the country, or the people that run the system of the country, are not really concerned who will win the election anyway, because either way, whoever win, they win. But if we have Emerson Mnangagwa, whom I think that is in a wrong position, Emerson Mnangagwa must be in that position of the people that run Zimbabwe without being voted for. We don't have to vote for him. He must be in that polity bureau of Zimbabwe. You must have your own, the polity bureau of the country, which is not voted into power, to understand, which makes decisions outside the province of this. I don't want to say outside the province of the law, but I want to say outside the, what word can I use? Outside these institutions, okay? Outside these institutions. Who's the guy who makes the law, who creates the law of competition between the Republicans and the Democrats? Which constitution are they using? There's no constitution. It's people outside the constitution, outside the province of constitution, outside the province of the institutions, but forming a background institution. People can call it a mafia, whatever you want to call it, but in that mafia dome of some sort, in that mafia dome, there's rules of engagement. There's a gentleman agreement, such that you're able to yield or to wield your influence across the institutions, such that the institutions all work together towards a common cause. That's why I'm saying that I think retired presidents, retired ministers, retired prominent people should retire to this national politic bureau. You can call it the supreme body or whatever name you can give it, but it helps free this tension that you have with, like, Emerson Mnangagwa and Chiwenga or whoever fighting for power. But they are powerful already. My assessment would be, you are powerful already. You do not need power but being voted for. The reason why you are competing for votes is because the system that you created needs you to get the votes. Needs people at ZANU-PF conference to vote for you. Say, who's going to be leading ZANU-PF? So, and that system itself needs to be changed. That system itself is unsustainable, and it is not good for the country, for even for ZANU-PF or for anyone to understand. Bafana ndivo vanofanira kuita zvinhu zvekucampaigna zvekuita mavhoti, and who's gonna be ZANU-PF chairperson must be someone who's 25 years old. Who's gonna stand for ZANU-PF in next year's election should be someone who's 27 years old. This law of saying someone must be 40 years to become a president must be scrapped. Started from 21 years old. You started from 21 years old. You don't get the big daras to be president. You get them to be the polity bureau that I'm talking about that can remove a president. That's the system that you must have. There must be something above the president, a group of people. Okay, talking about the rich people, influential people. If Robert Mugabe was alive, he should be part of that. Daba Mengistu was alive, he would be part of that. If Joshua Nkomo was alive, he would be part of that. Council of the elders or whatever you put it in. It's people that are experienced, people that have got money, or people that have got business interest in the country, influential people, who control industries. They don't always have to be black, including white people that are rich and interested in Zimbabwe, the billionaires that are in other countries that are white, that want to control the country, or because they have got business interest in it. They also being part of that grouping that actually are this overarching, committee, that keeps the whole system to keep its integrity, so that the election season would have integrity, the whole political arena to have integrity, have order. The people will rest. The people will develop some satisfaction if they feel like their voices are being heard, and the heroes that arise from the people, that express the wishes of the people, are actually made to live and experience life and be given positions. But practice soft power, of which, when there's an existential threat to the country, then we can just come and say, no, this, we're declaring that cannot happen. This president out. Okay, this one like this. Otherwise, when things are normal, people, society moves. You see, I'm coming up with ideas that can propel the society of Zimbabwe, even of any other country for that matter. If you are Malawi and you're listening, you can do the same thing to Malawi, you can do the same thing to Tanzania, you can do the same thing to any country in the world. That will give that stability to your country. Okay, you become a sovereign, become strong. That is how USA is a global leader. Many countries do not know. That is why African leaders are fighting for position. They do not know. In America, they don't fight for government, for presidential position, because they know that it is not the most powerful position. It just appears so. Appearance versus reality. It just appears so. But the reality is that there is superpowers behind Joe Biden. Whether he is part of that grouping or not, we do not know. We don't want to know. We don't have to know. They don't have to tell us. It's their secret. That's why they come up with things like Illuminati, secret societies. It's nothing more than just business arrangements and secret collaborations for the sake of business / political influence. Okay, and so you have things like the Bilderberg group, who go to Europe and speak in secret. Why? I think that whole idea of calling Satanism is just an idea so that to repudiate other people, to think that, oh, I don't want to be part of Satan, so I'm not gonna join them. But there's no Satan, I think. But Satan is everywhere anyway. You can be a Satanist even if you don't join the Illuminati. You understand? Satan is everywhere. Now, what I'm saying is that these are structures that they are created, and then there's these impressions that are put to hide from the rest of the public. But essentially, the idea is to run a stable society. To understand? And I feel like African countries, maybe in Caribbean countries and other countries around the world, they haven't figured that out. And those that have figured it out, like the Western governments, that is why they run the world. That's why they're superpowers, because they figured it out. You see, It doesn't matter who's the president of Germany. He can be removed tomorrow, but Germany will still be a superpower. Because we do not know where the power of Germany and the European Union comes from. You have no clue who's running who. You can speculate and say it's Bill Gates and Charles Schwab. you can speculate all you want, but there's no real telling. Even if I'm talking about the oligarchs of Zimbabwe, I know they exist, but I cannot really tell you who and who definitely. But they are there. You understand? But I can see by the footprint that they're leaving behind that the Zimbabweans are failing or are behind or are in trouble because of that thing of because of the effects that I see, and I see that the empire is crumbling, and because of that I can tell that okay, they are making these mistakes. This is what must be happening. This is what we must be seeing. We must not be seeing election violence. Okay, we must not be seeing rigging. We must not be seeing candidates like Emerson Mnangagwa competing to be president. He should have retired and retired to a better position, to a higher level, to be part of that background society, secret society. But of course, other people who do not know what a secret society is, the devil has come up with his own secret societies and made them join demonic things, of which this idea that I'm talking about has got nothing to do with demons. It's just got to do with governance and governing, managing expectations of people in nations, guarding the sovereignty of state, strengthening the integrity of a state so that it grows, matures, and succeeds. Good night.